The local agricultural official gave the fruit growers of the District 10 Farmers Cooperative a new pesticide that they applied for a period of 3 years to their pear orchards in place of the pesticide they had formerly applied. Okay, so local officials gave these fruit growers a new pesticide in replace of the one they were using over a period of 3 years.
Perfect.
Okay. During those 3 years, the proportion of pears lost to insects was significantly less than it had been during the previous 3-year period. So during this 3-year experimental period, the pears lost to insects was a lot less.
Yeah, and so far I'm like, okay, that's good, right? We're losing less pears to insects. Cool.
So I guess this new pesticide might be working. Okay.
Yeah, hey.
Okay, so on the basis of these results, the official concluded that the new pesticide was more effective than the old pesticide, at least in the short term, in limiting the loss of certain fruits to insects. Certain fruit to insects.
So what is our conclusion here?
Okay. On the basis of these results, and all of the rest.
Yeah, so the new pesticide was more effective than the old pesticides,
at least in the short term,
in limiting the loss of certain fruit to insects. So is this a valid conclusion?
It's not as strong, so I like it. I mean, it says at least in the short term, in limiting the loss of a certain fruit. So it's just talking about pear. So
what if this was a study? What else would have to stay the same for this to be a valid conclusion, though?
There's no control group. So
yes. So this is going to be a strengthen question. So what would strengthen this conclusion that the new pesticide is more effective than the old pesticide?
So there's one group has the new one. So like the other group is being treated with the old pesticide for 3 years versus the new one control group being treated with the new one for 3 years. So they're both
we want if there's no control group, right? We want everything else to be the same. Wouldn't that strengthen it if everything else was the same between 3 years ago and now?
Yes.
Yeah, like what if there was so I think that what if we said that the number of bugs that started off every year was the same?
Okay.
That would strengthen it, right?
Yes.
Or what if there was no bugs when we brought on this new pesticide? Then it's like, well, how do we know it was the pesticide not working and not something previously?
Okay.
So let's go ahead and start with A. Tell me if you like it, leave it, or hate it.
Peach trees grown in the district that were treated with the new pesticide instead of the old pesticide. Okay. I don't love it.
Oh, hold on. Most words, if which of the following groups of trees did not show I didn't read this question stem.
I didn't either. Let me just read it. Sorry. The official conclusion is most strongly supported if which one of the following groups of trees did not show a reduction in losses of fruit to insects. What? Which one of the following groups of trees did not show a reduction in loss of fruit? And loss of fruit to insects. Okay, limiting the loss of fruit to insects.
So what this is saying is what group of trees below if it did not show like a loss of fruit to insects, or did not show like a reduction of loss of fruit, would strengthen the idea that the new pesticide is more effective.
Okay. I'll give it a whirl. Okay. Peach trees grown in the district that were treated with the new pesticide instead of the old pesticide.
Do we need these people treated with the pesticides to show a loss or not show a loss?
We need to show that it showed a loss.
Yes, so this isn't right? Because this, if this one did not show a reduction, that wouldn't help at all. So let's cross that one off. Let's try B.
Did not. Okay. Peach trees grown in a district that were treated with the new pesticide in addition to the old pesticide. So now you're just combining them. I'm confused with that. So I'm going to say no. Hopefully
Yeah,
that's
why would we test with both? Then how would we know which one is working and which one's not working?
okay. They're just going to kill the peach trees. Too much pesticides. So let's see. Okay. Peach trees grown in the district that were treated with old pesticide instead of the new pesticide. So we want to see a reduction in what? We want to see a reduction in the new pesticide.
So the ARCA question is saying, which of the following would strengthen our answer or conclusion if this group of trees did not show a reduction in losses? So that meaning that they lost, so we're saying like if this group of trees lost the same number to insects as before.
I know it's like hard for me to even like compute, but I think this would be wrong because we want to see a reduction in the new one, not the old one.
Right, but this is, yes, but our thing is saying did not show a reduction. So C is going to be our answer because like we don't want to see a reduction in the losses with
In the old one.
yes, in the old one. So, and this is being treated with the old one. If this were true, that there was a reduction in the losses for trees that use the old pesticide, that would actually weaken our thing. So how would we know if it's the new or old pesticide then?
Okay, but this isn't this like a strengthened question?
Yes, but we're strengthening it by saying which of the following groups did, if they did not show a reduction in losses. So it's a very odd strengthened question.
I have to review it. I'm like being tripped up by the language.
And then D and E are just wrong because it says in a neighboring district. Like we don't care about in the neighboring
No.
district. And so
No.
that's why it's C.
Okay, can I just have 1 minute on this?